A World Cup host country just blocked a national team from fielding its own starting midfielder. So why couldn't Thomas Partey get into Canada? Ghana opened their 2026 World Cup campaign against Panama in Toronto on June 17th. Without Thomas Partey, Canada's government denied his visa application, keeping him from traveling from Ghana's team base in Boston. The stakes: Ghana's best central midfielder, sidelined for a group stage opener, with no clear timeline for when or whether he'd play in this tournament at all. Here's how it unfolded. Partey is facing 7 counts of rape and 1 count of sexual assault, charged by London's Metropolitan Police, and is awaiting trial. He has pleaded not guilty to all counts. His trial, originally scheduled for last November at Southwark Crown Court, has been pushed back to June 2027. When Ghana arrived in North America, the Federation discovered the trial delay didn't matter to Canadian border officials. Partey's visa was refused outright for the Panama match. Ghana didn't accept that quietly. The Ghana Football Association took the fight to Canada's federal court, seeking an emergency order to let Partey enter the country temporarily for the match. A judge rejected that bid, also rejecting the argument that Partey couldn't be denied entry simply because he hasn't been convicted of anything. Then the story took a turn. Partey had already been cleared to enter the United States for Ghana's training camp and matches in Boston and Philadelphia. Same player, same pending charges, 2 different countries, 2 different calls. FIFA's position has been to step back entirely. A FIFA statement made clear the organization is not involved in adjudicating visas and that host governments ultimately decide who's admitted. Canada's government held firm. A spokesperson for Canada's immigration minister stated that hosting the World Cup doesn't change the country's immigration laws and that every applicant is assessed individually based on the facts and the law that applies. Ghana saw it differently. Ghana's Ministry of Foreign Affairs called the visa denial a high-handed and extremely unfair decision. Partey's own legal team argued the public interest favored letting him play. His lawyer told the court that Canada, as a World Cup host, has an interest in the orderly participation of accredited national team athletes. The unresolved tension here isn't really about football, it's about whether immigration officials should weigh pending, unproven charges the same way they'd weigh a conviction. Canada's courts said yes, that's within their discretion. Ghana says that's unfair to a player who hasn't been found guilty of anything. Neither side is wrong on the law. They're just starting from different values about risk versus presumption of innocence. For Ghana, this isn't just one missed match. If Partey can play in US-hosted games but not Canadian ones, that's a structural problem for the rest of the tournament. Any knockout match hosted in Canada puts him back in the same situation. Quarterfinals and semifinals are split across all 3 host nations, so this isn't necessarily over. It also says something bigger about this World Cup specifically. 3 host countries, 3 immigration systems, 1 tournament. FIFA has made clear it won't intervene, which means individual federations are now absorbing legal and diplomatic fights that used to be hypothetical. Expect this to come up again, with other players, other countries before the tournament ends. Partey is reportedly in Ghana's starting lineup for their group stage clash with England in Boston. US soil, no visa issue. But if Ghana advances and a knockout match lands in Canada, this exact fight could restart with everything on the line. Subscribe if you want the breakdown the moment that bracket gets set.